Okay, there's 2 minutes left in the silent auction. Afterwards, someone's gonna come on the big television to say who's like the winners, and then come to the front of the stage to get your prizes. Okay. Also, please, everybody, give a tremendous round of applause for the people who helped put this together. There's a tremendous amount of effort and energy and planning that goes into putting an event like this. I want to thank Justinder, Gene, and above all, Debbie. Hey guys, we can do better than that. Like, you're not that fancy. Like, let's get into it. You know what I mean? We're crying out loud. We're door-to-door salespeople. We're pretending for the day. You know what I mean? Like, we're playing make-believe tonight, and it's fun. But you know, like on Monday, we're gonna go like, "Hey, how's it going? Nothing serious." You know what I mean? Like, don't play yourself. Okay. Well, that went in a different direction quickly. So, just a super quick footnote that I would be upset with myself if I didn't mention this. So, the effort of bar that Gavin has set, it's hard to, like, if you weren't there, you wouldn't know this, but you have to hear this. You have to hear this. This is the bar. So Gavin rings the bell every day, takes a business trip to Buffalo, drove 10 hours. Their business trip broke the business trip record on Direct Energy, which is a campaign that we won 5 years straight consistently. It was the 6th week on the campaign. His 2 people on the business trip broke the personal Direct Energy record. Then drove 10 hours after putting a full Saturday in, drove through the night, because the only time I could have a one-on-one with him was at my little brother's minor league baseball game in the middle of nowhere, tacked on another 2.5 hours to his drive, was excited as shit to sit through a minor league baseball game. Somehow his whole team was excited to be there, and then afterwards came over to my house, and then was the first one in the office the next day and rang the bell. That's what it takes to be Entrepreneur of the Year. So obviously these moments, these times like this, it's an introspective time also. To me, I don't celebrate New Year's as the new year. This is my new year. Today is New Year's. And this time next year, that's my new year. My new year starts on Monday. That's the new year. The new year for me isn't in January. My new year is today. This is the reset button on the business was just pushed. But it makes me think about, obviously, all the other years and everything that's combined and all the good years and bad years I've had with this business. And I look at the client names, and of course I'm thinking about how far we've come. And the first client I worked with was a company named, when I say company, I mean a pizzeria. And when I say a pizzeria, a Korean guy who sold bread with cheese on it and called it pizza, that no self-respecting New Yorker would ever call pizza. And it was in Gun Hill Road in the Bronx in the hood. And there was bulletproof glass. And that pizzeria had 2 locations that were called Domino. Not Domino's, Domino, because it sounded like Domino's. And I sold a piece of paper that was worthless. It was literally a piece of paper. I knocked on someone's door and I tried to convince them to give me $20. And if they gave me $20, I'd give them this piece of paper. Then on that piece of paper would allow them to go to Domino and buy a pizza pie and get the second thing that they call the pizza pie for free. So maybe the clients have changed, but the business really hasn't changed. The business is still the business. The first negative I learned to overturn in the field, people were like, "Oh, I love Domino's." I'm like, "Then you'll like this too." We're just like them, only better. But the effort that you have to put forth to be successful, the commitment, that hasn't changed. Yes, we don't work with Domino anymore. We work with some of the biggest companies in the world. But the effort that you have to put in to be successful in this industry, that hasn't changed. I think Gavin would have been successful on Domino too. He wouldn't have beat me, but he still would have been pretty good. And as I start to reflect introspectively about these moments, I can't help but think about my own career and what happened and how it went down. And I'll tell you, when I started this business, with selling our paper door to door, we had a dream. And the dream wasn't that complicated. The dream was, we're gonna work with some of the biggest companies in the world. And I would share this with anyone that would listen. And the reaction, unilaterally was, yeah, you sell for Domino, it's a sheet of paper, what's wrong with you? And then I would say, and we're gonna recruit some of the best and brightest people in the world. And they'd laugh louder, like, ah! And then really, to get people going, I'd be like, and we're gonna do it all over the world. No one's laughing anymore. But it was a dream. Who was I? I was a boy walking door to door with a piece of paper. But I had to keep telling myself, one day we're gonna work with the biggest companies in the world. One day we're gonna recruit the best people. One day we're gonna take this all over the world. And I had to keep telling myself that over and over and over and over again. And those dreams turned into actions, and those actions turned into results, and those results turned into this. And I worked hard, and I worked hard, and I worked hard, and I have my Gavin-esque war stories. And I worked hard, and I worked hard, and success came. And at some point, I looked up and I had 30 offices, and I had a decent lifestyle, and I owned my house, and I thought to myself, I'm in the top 10% of all Americans, and I'm well off, and I'm running a good business, and I have a good lifestyle, but I stopped dreaming. I lost my dream. I stopped being a little boy. I stopped believing. I became like a businessman. I became everything that I thought I would never become when I dreamt. I started managing my 401k portfolio as if somehow by having a moderate yet aggressive portfolio plan, that was gonna lead to my fucking dreams and goals somehow. And one of the most profound and amazing things happened to me. And I hooked up with Jesse, who, we started together in the paper Domino days, and got back together with Cody and Justin, and they introduced me to Tony, and I decided to move to Brazil. And for the first time in years, I heard a little bit of that laughter. Be like, oh, you gonna move to Brazil? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna move to Brazil. I'm like, but what's your plan? I'm like, make it happen is my plan. Like, what client are you gonna work with? I'm like, we'll find some there. I'm pretty sure people buy shit there too. Do you speak Portuguese? I'll learn it when I get there. That was not a good idea, by the way. Just to keep it real in retrospect, that was a difficult obstacle. If you try to tailor your dream to a language you speak, or learn the language. Did we break labor laws every day? Were we in that country legally the entire time practically? But I started to dream again. I was a little boy again. I was saying things to people and made them laugh, and I knew I was back on the right track. And I stopped looking at my 401k, and I stopped worrying about my 30 little offices and keeping my business together. And an amazing thing happened. And things weren't going well for me in Brazil in any way, shape, or form. Like personally, professionally, food-wise, it was a disaster. Everything you can think of. It was like we opened up during the World Cup. It was just like crazy. Don't do that. Also, if you're gonna open up an office in Brazil, don't go during the World Cup. FYI. And I kept making these excuses. I'm like, oh, Brazilians are so lazy. No offense to Brazilian people. All they want to do is play soccer and dance. But they do kind of really like playing soccer and dancing, though. Not that there's anything wrong with that. They just like that tremendously more than working. And I made all these excuses why it's never going to work, it's never going to work, it's never going to work. And Jesse and Tony are like, come to Spain. We have someone who just opened up there, and we want you to meet with him. And I had known Justin since I was a boy. I've been in this business my entire adult life. I only know this business. And I saw Justin, I was like, oh shit, wow, this is the guy who's gonna close me? And working with you guys? I'm like, oh, okay. So Justin and I walked out of the meeting. We just left and hung out for 3 days straight. I never saw the inside of my hotel room the rest of the time. That night, we stayed up till 4 a.m. dreaming again about all the countries we were gonna go to and all the things we were gonna do and all the crazy stuff that we had no plan of how we were gonna do it, but we just know we were gonna do it. And then we woke up at 5:15 to go to work. And we hopped in his Porsche, and we were the first people there, and somehow 70 Spaniard people showed up. And I'm like, who are all these people, and how do you communicate with them? He's like, I have no idea. And I actually do speak Spanish. I'm a native speaker, so I ran an opportunity meeting, and 5 leaders came out to me afterwards, and they're like, so at the end of this thing, you can run your own company? I'm like, what do you mean? And Justin's like, something must be lost in translation. Everyone was like, so we're going to be managers for Justin. I'm like, no, actually not at all, actually. We call it the management training program, but that's just like, you're going to run your own company. Be like, okay, see. And it started to happen again, and we started to dream again, and we started saying crazy things. Like we said, let's open up a business in the United States. And we're going to work with the biggest companies, and it's going to grow tremendously. And we keep saying crazy things. Last year we said, you know what? 4 years ago, we had less than 100 people selling. Right now we have more than 4,000 people. Tonight, you heard us give out $5 million club awards. We made 5 millionaires this year. What company does that? This is what really gets me going. This is what really, I'm dreaming again. I'm a little boy again. I found my imagination. I had lost it for too long. But let me tell you, let me share with you the new dreams. We're gonna open up France. Right now we're building a team headed by Adrian Fournier, who's a French guy himself. He's gonna come up here in a minute, and a bunch of these Quebecer people, and we're gonna send them over there. This time with visas, and we'll actually speak the language. There's 7.5 billion people in the world. 5.5 billion of them live in Asia. We're in a people business, and we're not in Asia. Does that make sense? I don't think so. We're gonna open up India in the next 24 months. Is it crazy? Yes, it is, but we're going to do it. We're never going to come back to this place because we'll never fit in this place again. Our business will be too big. New Year's next year, it can't be here. We'll have too many clients and it won't fit on these walls. We'll have too many people and it won't fit in this room. This stage won't be big enough for all the awards that we're going to give out. Dream with me. If you lost your imagination, go find it. Don't be a business person. The world is filled with business persons. Be a little boy, be a little girl. Find your imagination. Say something crazy and then pursue it like your last breath of air, and it will happen. That you have to talk about your dreams. Then you gotta follow up those dreams with actions, and then those actions will become results. And the next person that I'm gonna bring up on the stage, he did that. He set a new bar for our industry. 18 months ago, he had 2 offices. Today, he has 18 offices in his organization. He has 15 assistant owners. Before our New Year's, he will be a vice president and receive another watch. But today, our co-entrepreneur of the year, as well as picking up his watch for organization consultant. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Adrian Forney.